Hello everyone. My name is Advocate Ajita Parmar. I am a member of Bar Council of India and currently practicing in Bombay High Court and a ex-faculty to MSMEs, which is Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises training program. Today I will discuss about law optional strategy with everyone. In this video, we will be talking about UPSC law optional and will try to decipher the various aspects of law from UPSC IS exam point of view. We will comprehensively cover the strategy for choosing law as optional, and this will help you to give clarity and a basic approach to the law optional subject to prepare well for the exam. So let's talk about how basically it works. See, prelims score of the IS exam is not counted in the final score. Thus, mains exams has a major part to play in the selections. And so optional subject, which is a part of the mains exam, it plays a very important role in your final selection. But when you decide to prepare, the biggest dilemma you will come across is which optional subject to choose from the list of optional subjects available. Many candidates prefer law optional for UPSC. To help you overcome this confusion and to make a wise choice, we have come up with a complete guide to a popular UPSC law optional. See, as a future civil servant who has to work within the framework of the country's law and help to maintain it as an efficient administrator, it is very important that IAS aspirants have a better understanding of the law. The UPSC law syllabus deals with all that is required to provide the candidates with a clear view of the law and order, which they will be responsible for in the future. So, law is gaining more and more acceptance as a popular optional subject for UPSC mains. As candidates are beginning to understand the importance of the subject for their future as an appointed IS officer, it is also fairly scoring paper when the preparation is done properly. Remember, when you select the right optional, you are halfway through in this examination. First, before choosing the subject, you have to see the entire syllabus of all the optional subjects ranging from subjects like agriculture to Russian literature. There are many optional subjects given by the UPSC. Students must visit UPSC official website and see the list of available optional subjects and go through the syllabus. Students with optional subjects as their graduation subjects like history, geography or political science have the option to choose their graduation subjects itself as their optional subjects in IS exam. So when you select an optional subject, it is like marrying a person. We have to live with it for a few years. When you are going through the UPSC examination and during the course of the preparation, you should not realize that we should have selected a better optional. So when you select the optional subject, be clear and go through the syllabus. See, if the syllabus is to your liking, you have to select the subject. Also go through the various year question papers, and when you feel comfortable with the subject, start reading and analyzing NCERT books related to that subject. The things which works in favor of law optional are manifold. The syllabus of law optional is mostly static and not very dynamic like other optional. There is a fixed scope of syllabus and most of the questions are asked from those very areas, leaving no scope for uncertainty. What it does is also to have model answers for more questions beforehand. Solving the past year papers is the key to figure out the areas which one has to concentrate. It also helps in quick revision towards the end when you seem to be running out of time. You can prepare this subject in just 2 months, but you really need to understand that how it overlaps with your general studies, and it helps you to actually prepare for polity. See, there is one more thing which works in favor of law optional. is the fact that the syllabus overlaps with some portions of the GS syllabus, helping in covering those portions while preparing for the optional. Further, since the syllabus does not cover procedural laws, it becomes a lot easier. So, understand what is your interest and you feel comfortable with the subject, and availability of material offline, online. Take guidance from the seniors, or just go through with the test series of that particular subject. Coachings available for that particular optional. That's how you can actually plan and come up to a decision that which optional will be a better option for you. So now let's talk about the syllabus. Law optional syllabus prescribed in UPSC mains examination are practically less than what a law graduate study in their typically 5 or 3-year law course. NLU graduates specifically would find it much easier and shorter. Absence of procedural laws like CPC, CRPC and evidence makes it a very manageable syllabus. It can easily be covered from end to end in 4 to 5 months. In each optional subject, there are 2 papers. Briefly speaking, law optional subject consists of paper 1, part A, which is constitutional and administrative law, part B, which is international law. And now paper 2, part A consists of criminal and tort, part B consists of contract and contemporary legal development. Let's see the paper 1, section A. There are constitutional law and administrative law, constitution and constitutionalism. We need to study the distinctive feature of the constitution here. Then comes fundamental rights, public interest litigation, legal aid, legal services. Now, relationship between fundamental rights and directive principles and fundamental duties. Constitutional position of the President and relation with the Council of Ministers, Governor and his powers, Supreme Court and the High Courts, their appointments and the transfers, power functions and jurisdiction. Then comes center, state and local bodies, wherein we will be studying the distribution of legislative powers between the union and the states, local bodies, administrative relationship among union, state and local bodies, eminent domain, state property, common property, eminent domain, state property, common property, community property, legislative powers, privileges and immunities, services under the union and the states, recruitment and conditions of services, constitutional safeguards, administrative tribunals, UPSC, Union Public Service Commission and State Public Service Commissions, their powers and functions, election commissions, again their powers and functions. Thereafter comes the emergency provisions, amendment of the constitution, principle of natural justice, emerging trends in judicial approach, delegated legislation and its constitutionality, separation of powers and constitutional governance, judicial review of administrative action, ombudsman, Lokayukt, Lokpal, etc. Now comes section B of paper 1. Here comes the international law. Now we have to study about the nature and definition of international law, relationship between international law and municipal law, state recognition and state succession, law of the sea, inland waters, territorial sea, contiguous zone, continental shelf, exclusive economic zone and high seas. We will talk about the individuals, nationality, statelessness, human rights and procedures available for their enforcement, territorial jurisdiction of states, extradition and asylum, treaties, formation, application, termination and reservation of those treaties, United Nations, its principal organs, powers and functions and reform, peaceful settlement of disputes, different modes, lawful recourse to force, aggressions, self-defense, intervention, fundamental principles of international humanitarian law, international convention, and contemporary developments. Mind this, contemporary developments. Legality of the use of nuclear weapons, ban on testing of nuclear weapons, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty (CTST), international terrorism, state-sponsored terrorism, hijacking, International Criminal Court, new international economic order and monetary law, WTO, TRIPS, GATT, IMF, World Bank, protection and improvement of the human environment, international efforts. Now we will be moving towards paper 2, section A. See, there are around 32 topics in each paper, and the number of questions asked is 25 to 27, and you have to attempt only 19 to 20 of them. There are rarely two questions from any one topic, even the topic as important as fundamental rights. So understand, any candidate should have this in mind, that the topics are being overlapped, or somewhere it is benefiting you in some or the other manner. Syllabus is comparatively so easy that nowadays even a non-law background student takes law optional and qualifies UPSC with top ranks. Now again, let's get back to the syllabus. Section A of paper 2, Law of Crimes. Here we'll be studying about general principles of criminal liability, mens rea and actus reus, mens rea and statutory offences, kinds of punishment and emerging trends as to abolition of capital punishment, preparations and criminal attempt, general exceptions, joint and constructive liability, abatement, criminal conspiracy, offences against the state, offences against public tranquility, offences against human body, offences against property, offences against women, defamation, Prevention of Corruption Act 1988, Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955, and subsequent legislative developments, plea bargaining. Now coming to law of torts, we'll be studying about nature and definition of torts, liability based upon fault and strict liability, absolute liability, vicarious liability including state liability, general defenses, joint tort, feasors, remedies, negligence, defamation, nuisance, conspiracy, false imprisonment, malicious prosecution, Consumer Protection Act 1986, and then comes section B of paper 2, where we'll be studying law of contracts and mercantile law, nature and formation of contract, e-contract, factors vitiating free consent, voidable, illegal and unforeseeable agreements, performance and discharge of contracts, quasi-contracts, consequences of breach of contract, contract of indemnity, guarantee and insurance, contract of agency, sale of goods and hire purchase, formation and dissolution of partnership, Negotiable Instruments Act 1881, Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996, Standard Form Contracts, contemporary legal developments, public interest litigation, intellectual property rights, concept, types, prospects, information technology law including cyber laws, concept, purpose, prospects, competition law, concept, purpose, prospects again, alternate dispute resolution, concept, types, prospects, major statutes concerning environmental law, right to information act, trial by media. So this was the section B of paper 2. Okay, now we will be talking about the book list, what notes we should refer, what all we can. So now let's talk about the book list. Paper 1, section A. The first is Constitution of India. You should refer Direct of PM Bakshi and DD Basu. If in case you want a little easy language or something like that, you can go for Narendra Kumar, MP Jain, but DD Basu has to be your Bible. Otherwise, Nirvana notes for concepts and jurisprudential aspects. In addition to recent case laws and all, like any living wills judgments and other Supreme Court landmark judgments, you can refer to Nirvana notes. This will help you, and actually it is going to overlap with your polity syllabus. Coming to administrative law, again Nirvana notes and Almasi, A.K. Jain and Avtar Singh, of course. See, important concepts like separation of powers, rule of law, delegated legislation should be covered, and other very important doctrines like Audi Alterum Partem and post-decisional hearing and right against bias must be prepared well. So have model answers handy for such topics in administrative law, especially. Now coming to, okay, okay, so which book for which topic? Constitution, D.D. Basu. You can use the Barrett. Commentary, if you really want, then you can go for V.N. Shukla. You can refer to PRS legislative research of recent constitutional development. Then administrative law topics, principles of natural justice, emerging trends in judicial approach, delegated legislation and its constitutionality, separation of powers in constitutional governance, judicial review of administrative action, IPMC, an ombudsman and Lokayukt Lokpal, relevant report of second reforms, commission must be referred. Next is paper 1 section B, international law. For that, Stark and Malcolm Shaw. This I believe is the most difficult part for most candidates, as there are no specific answers. You should always attempt 2 questions from part A here. So only this Stark and Malcolm Shaw. Otherwise, you can go for again Nirvana notes. Paper 2 section A, law of crimes. So for the criminal law, you can use Barrett of universal or professional, whatever suits you. Ratanlal Dheerajlal for the book. PSA Pillai as well. Caddy Gore, amazing. And again Nirvana notes for this. Tots, Bangia, A. Pillai, Contract and Sale of Goods Act, Avtar Singh and Bangia, Law of Contracts, R.K. Bangia. I'll just give you a little brief about like IPC. It has 16 subparts. Okay, so where first 13 concerns the IPC, has like you have read about it. Now these all can be covered by Keddy Gore or Ratanlal Dheerajlal. KD Gore or Ratanlal Dheerajlal. Therefore, there are 3 subparts and 3 different acts. They are like Prevention of Corruption Act 1988, Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955 and subsequent legislative developments, plea bargaining. For the topics of Prevention of Corruption Act 1988 and Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955, the Barrett would be enough along with the online content available on PRS legislative and live law. The focus must be on the conceptual parts. Now for the topics of Prevention of Corruption Act 1988 and Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955, the Barrett again would be enough along with the online content available on PRS legislative and live law. Again, the focus has to be on the conceptual parts. And with regards to plea bargaining, the relevant provision of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 and 124th Law Commission report must be read along with online contents. For other remaining topics of contemporary legal developments, it is not prudent to ignore these as a couple of questions are sure to come from this part. For the topics of public interest litigation and trial by media, reading on the internet and blogs would suffice. Now, how to approach? See, the trend analysis of the law paper 1 from Civil Services Mains 2013 to Civil Services Mains 2019 shows that the questions from both the parts, Constitution, Administrative Law and International Law, carry equal marks, and therefore both the parts must be given equal attention. Now coming to the trend analysis of the law paper 2 from Civil Services Mains 2013 to Civil Services Mains 2019 suggest that questions related to law of crimes, law of contracts and mercantile law and contemporary legal development are regularly asked. At the same time, the law of torts is also an important topic, so one can plan studies accordingly, giving more focus and attention to the essential topics. As the question trend is regularly changed after a few years, you cannot ignore any topic. Giving extra focus to the topics from where the questions have regularly been asked is the key here, okay? So now it is like, do what is right, not easy. One day, whatever you have done, whatever all efforts you have put in one direction, all will pay off. Your hard work will pay off. And some more beautiful quotes like, the earlier you start working on something, the earlier you will see the results. So talk about your law option. 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you never know. Life is short, live it. Fear is natural, face it. Memory is powerful, use it. Okay, bye bye. Thank you.